James Harden is traded. We'll talk about that and more next on Locked On 76ers.
You are Locked On 76ers, your daily Philadelphia 76ers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making Locked On 76ers your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you guys by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Mitch, all I'm going to say is it finally happened.
It's done.
It's done. Now, again, they still got a third team. They got to get all that stuff, well, what happened is that the Sixers are going to get a first-round pick from a third team, right? So that has to be finalized, taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
But it's done, man.
Right.
And the deal is, so the Sixers send Philip Petrusev, PJ Tucker, James Harden to the Clippers for the Sixers in return they get Marcus Morris, they get Kenyon Martin Jr., they get Nick Batum,
mm-hmm.
and they get Robert Covington. They get the one draft pick that we talked about from a third team. And they also get a 2029 draft pick swapped, and they get a 2028 unprotected first round pick.
Mm-hmm. Picks.
They get a 2028 unprotected first rounder. They get two second rounders. They get a 2029 draft pick swap. And they get another first round pick from another team.
Mm-hmm.
They made out, man. I think they did. I think they did well. And I want to get your results of this trade.
Yeah, I can't dispute it, man. They got Harden out of here, but most importantly, I don't think that they were just ripped off. They're bringing in guys who while they may be at in the sunset of their careers, they have guys who will be able to contribute. They have guys that they can fit around Embiid and Maxey, who will not need a prima donna treatment, which is crucial because you need now, this kind of frees up Tyrese Maxey to really blossom. He's no longer has to have an admitted addicted serial malcontent on the roster with him, who was eventually going to probably muddy and sully the waters of this season until he got out of here. So, with the picks, with the expiring contracts, I'm completely happy because, you and I have been talking about James Harden being a descending talent. He's no longer the 2018 MVP. And I think Morey was a little bit, I think his pride was like, I can't get ripped off. And I think he made out well in this deal.
See, here's the thing about this deal. Like, when you look on Twitter and you see a lot of other people, and people are looking at like, man, we got Cub, man, we got this and that. Like, in other words, what they're doing is they calling the dudes trash, right?
Yeah.
We're saying Marcus Morris is over the hill.
Yeah.
Nicholas Batum is just not. Look, listen. I'm just saying this. For a Sixers team, and what you said is true. But when we look at the Sixers, right now we're looking at a team that you're saying you got ascending, an ascending star in Tyrese Maxey, right?
Right.
That's the one thing right then and there. The
Right.
big question was, could Tyrese Maxey be the dude?
Right.
Tyrese Maxey is balling through 3 games. Now, again, a lot of other stuff has to happen. But what do you do? What do the Sixers want? The Sixers want roster flexibility. So what they did is they essentially got rid of a guy PJ Tucker, a guy in Philip Petrasev, two dudes who like PJ was starting, but people weren't really happy with PJ, right? They weren't happy with him. Philip, the only reason why he made the team is because they needed a contract to trade with. They wanted to make it Montrez, but the other guys weren't playing well, so they got Philip. So what does this do? All four of these guys that the Sixers got have expiring contracts. Now, the deep thing is, it's all about keeping roster flexibility, and it's all about those first-round picks that the Sixers are going to receive. Now, you look at the Chicago Bulls, and we talked about this. You have Zach LaVine, a guy who's on a team that's balling, but the team looks like it's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
If you're Chicago, what can you do? I could take in these expiring contracts, some of them, right? And I can give you a guy who's making a lot of money, but my team isn't going anywhere. We got to reboot. Right. So when you look at what the Sixers did, right now they can sit back and say, Chicago, what y'all trying to do?
Yeah.
We can help y'all out and y'all can help us. Because I'm telling you, man, right then and there, that's the star that they can get. They finally got the assets to do it. Now, again, if these dudes you saying, oh man, we could have had Bones Highland, we could have had what's the guy that the Sixers Terrence Mann. Did all this. Now I'm gonna tell you
that was kind of off the board anyway, wasn't it?
It was off the board, but I'm just saying what people saying they could have got. Now here's the deal: Kenyon Martin, KJ Martin, athletic. He could be somebody that you can keep. You know what I mean? He's a young, you can keep, or you can ship him in there, because when you look at Terrence Mann, you look at KJ, it's kind of sort of like, you know what I'm saying? They still in the same rim, so to speak. So like, I'm not hating on the trade. I like the trade. I like what it set up, and they kept their roster flexibility because Terrence Mann will still be on the books.
Right.
That's a
good point.
I like it. I like it, Mitch. I really do like this trade.
Yeah, and like you said, when you have roster flexibility and you now have your obvious established 1-2 punch. I think I'm a little bit further. You as the beat writer have to remain a little more. You've got to rein yourself in a little bit more. But I'm pretty far down the road with Tyrese Maxey as being that number 2 guy. And having, like you said, the ability to make deals, to make sure, because they had lost it. They were in this limbo of what can we do, and now there's this light at the end of the tunnel. To throw a cliche out there, I like what they've done, man. It all kind of goes back to this is what Ben Simmons evolved into. This is what we have with a former first round pick, but that the horse is out of the barn on that. When that's over and done with, you had to do something with Harden. He's still ramping up. Let him go to the Los Angeles Clippers and ramp up and continue to ramp up.
But that ramped up stuff, that was more or less, look, bro, like, come on.
I'm not with this. I'm not with this.
Look, the day before, the day that he's supposed to practice, scrimmage with the team, it was like, yo, how y'all going to explain this one when he don't practice? Get him out of here. Right. So that's what it was. But the day that he was supposed to practice is the day that my man James got traded to the to the Clippers. But look, I want to talk to y'all about FanDuel, and when we get back, we'll talk about some other things about the Sixers moving forward. But look, score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers could get $150 in bonus bets when any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use, and there's a wide range of betting options, right? Including spreads, player props, over unders, and more. So visit fanduel.com/locked on and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. Now, Mitch, when you look at this, right? So we talked about it. We talked about the length. We talked about the depth, the veteran leadership. Now, there's other people that say, "Hey, you got to get these other people." Now, in your eyes, where are the Sixers in the pecking order of the East right now?
I'm Milwaukee. I'm Boston. I think they're on that tier right below those guys. I think I put them on the second tier. But I actually, Keith, last year they were in the top three. If you look at it, it was always Miami. You had Miami, you had Boston, you had Milwaukee, you had the Sixers, and for the better part, the Sixers were ahead of Miami until the playoffs came around. But I actually, looking at the 23-24 roster, I like this roster better than last year's roster.
Okay, explain why.
Well, because I don't think that I've always referred to James. I've never been a James Harden fan. I've always viewed him as empty calories on a basketball team. I viewed him as a guy who puts up incredible numbers statistically, but I don't think that he has ever done anything to help you win. He's he'll put up these incredible numbers during the regular season, and even when the playoffs get here. But the arrival of Kelly Oubre, and again, it's still early in the season. I think bringing in KJ Martin, I think that helps. I think that Marcus Morris is a piece. I mean, Marcus Morris can be no worse than PJ Tucker right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I mean, you're starting PJ Tucker, and you're getting the cliche. You're getting the the veteran, but you also have you got a guy who's damn near 40 years old in your starting lineup. But again, I think this is so much of they're more athletic now. So I think this improves the team. Quite honestly, I do. There's 2 second-round eliminations with James Harden in the lineup in back-to-back seasons. So what do you want another second-round elimination? And even if this team doesn't get beyond the second round, I just think they're better than last year. And I think there's room, as you touched on again, Keith, the roster flexibility. There's the ability to improve the roster.
Yeah, its ability to do it. Now, the thing is, though, I agree with you. I think they are a little bit better. I think they're older, though.
They're definitely older.
But I think, and I don't know how much these guys are going to contribute a lot. But when you look at it, you think of it. There was 2 guys that they got rid of. Danny Green struggled mightily in the time he played. He couldn't keep nobody in front of him this season. He couldn't. He just couldn't. PJ Tucker wasn't really giving you anything either. Now, he does have that toughness, that grit, the this and that. But when I think of a guy like Robert Covington, when I think of Marcus Morris, I think of Nicholas Batum.
Right.
You're right. I think they can give you the same stuff that this guy was doing. Yeah. And not only that, like Marcus, like we talk about tough guys in the NBA, right?
Mm-hmm.
So PJ Tucker, tough guy.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Morris, tough guy.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So you bring that too.
Right.
You bring that. And Marcus has been away on personal reasons, just like James has.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know that it wasn't really working out well for Marcus and the Clippers. So
right.
the reasons might have been, who knows?
Right.
So I'm assuming right now that could have been like, look, bro, like we're going to trade you. We don't, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we're going to trade.
And he's with it.
and it could have been. But the thing is, the dude, I know him personally.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't. It ain't like a fake. It ain't a fake stuff. He's a
Right.
tough guy.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and not only that, he's cool with Tobias. He was cool with Pat Bev. They were like all teammates. You know, Cove got his start here. So again, like, yeah, I'm with you. I do think that they're better. But the one thing I do think though, James, is, I mean, I keep calling you
I
James.
listen. You got James Harden on your
I'm sorry.
mind. You've been talking about
This
James
is
Harden.
my
I
man
call you
is
Pets James.
John Mitchell, people. I guess keep thinking about James Harden, so I keep calling him John. That's John Mitchell, the pride of Overbrook High School. He went to Howard. He's a Bison. Now I
I'm
always
all in.
he's all in. He worked at the Enquirer. He actually had the Sixers beat. He handed the Sixers beat to me. So he's been my mentor with that. That's John Mitchell. James Harden just got traded. so anyway, so look.
I wish I had his money.
Yeah, man. I wish I just had one of his game checks.
Right.
just give me a game check. So anyway, the only thing I disagree with you is they got to get out of the second round, bro. Like, it's still gonna be tough. I don't know if this roster sets you up for that.
Yeah.
But I think the coaching that Nick Nurse has is going to make them competitive.
Yeah.
But I still think John, they got to get out the second round, bro. I do.
Yeah. It's definitely. I mean, it's been past time for them to get out of the second round. It's like since 2001. You know, it's just this horrible albatross around their necks. You know, the potential is there for them to do it, man. I hate. I don't want to come off as a Tyrese Maxey cheerleader, man. But I'm in love with what I'm seeing. I was in love with what I was seeing from him out of his rookie season, and each year I've seen the progression, as we have, and you've seen it up close, personally and intimately. You've seen his progression. And you know, I mean, you look at the way the team is playing now under Nick Nurse. I know this isn't going to last forever, but Joel Embiid is leading them in assists right now. You know, so the ball movement is there. I think they're the fifth highest scoring team in the league right now. And they've improved lengthwise. They're old, but you know, James is old. You know, James is no spring chicken, and you know, they've got more bodies. So yeah, getting out of the second round is. It's the mantra. It's going to be what you hear, and you know, until the second round gets here, and whether they succeed or fail. So I would love to see this team get out of the second round. I need to see it happen. You know, they have to do it, but I need to see it happen.
Yeah, I got you. We'll see it. But let me talk to y'all about Gametime. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets for your next big event. Gametime is fast and the easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and your best price guaranteed, Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. So what do? Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Now, to me, Mitch, the thing is, I believe that this right here has to keep Joel Embiid happy. Now, again, because, you know, Joel said it in Toronto, and he wasn't trying to be ill. He's like, look, man, I can't worry about when James is coming back or if he's going to come back, right? He's like, we got a good team, and we got to play, and we got to win. And right now the team is winning, man. The
Mm-hmm.
team is winning. Also, now again they have to also, like we said, if these draft picks, you got to do something smart with them. You got to get the right player. But right now, like if you're Joel Embiid, you're seeing a direction. I honestly think that we talked about it, the roster flexibility, the growth of Tyrese Maxey. Heck, this keeps Tobias Harris happy because guess what? Tobias Harris is still going to be a vital player that they're going to use who has a pretty good role. They're not bringing in somebody at this particular time that's going to not drop him down a couple notches.
Right.
And he's playing well in his role.
He looks comfortable.
He looks comfortable. He looks comfortable. And these are guys who are his bull. So his bulls. So I mean, I think that this is a good sign for Joel. But again, I do say something now. In order for this team to be successful, after all this stuff we said, Joel has to continue to ball out, man.
But I think
he got to be aggressive.
Yeah.
He can't be passive. He has to be aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be in shape.
Yeah, and you're around him more than anybody, so you know what kind of condition he's in. The last time we saw him against Portland, I mean, granted it was Portland, but he was what I want to see more from Joel is Joel playing at the rim. I want to see Joel getting the and ones every now and then. I'm no longer fascinated and enthralled by his ability to step out. We all know he can make a three-pointer. You know, sometimes we feel like he takes too many of them, but if he continues to look like, I mean, that game he had against Portland the other day was spectacular. And he looks like he's picked up almost, at the level. He looks in better shape at this stage of the early season than he has in the previous two, where we know he's had to play himself into some kind of level of conditioning. But I have confidence in B. My only question about Joel, as always, is, when the grass turns green and the days get longer, what are you going to get out of Joel Embiid when you actually have to see him play like a generational talent? And that still is a question of mine. But when I see that level of talent that he has, it's hard to say he won't be able to play at that level at some point. If granted he has to arrive at the playoffs healthy. For him, it's all about the postseason now with Joel. And he still carries this team.
Yeah, he carries his team. But see, I like the mentality of the dudes. Like, so him and Cub was cool, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So him and Marcus Morris got that Kansas connection.
Give us the inside, Keith.
Yeah, so him and Marcus got that Kansas connection, and Marcus, like I said, man, Marcus is a real one. Like, he Philly through and through. Like, he's Philly, and he keeps it real with Joel, right? Mm-hmm. One of those dudes,
right? And he needs that.
You got it's like and everybody forget, like, Cub was his boy. So then you got Kenyon Martin, like. Yo, his father was like probably one of the realest NBA players of all time, right? Yeah. So he got that grit, that toughness, this and that. And Nick Batum, you know what I mean? Like he's a little older in the tooth, but at the same time, one of the elite defenders. But what I'm just trying to say is you got some veteran guys who are going to keep it 100 with you. And this their last year they deal, right? So it's kind of, and then like I really like what I see. I mean, I do. I like what I see, and I like what I see for Embiid. The only thing is, he want to clown people because now you got 3 Kansas Jayhawks in the building. So you got Kelly Oubre, you got Marcus Morris, and you have Joel. So they're gonna like try to run the locker room, I guess. So
I think that's a good thing, though. I think all that Keith speaks to chemistry. I mean, as well as I do, man. Likability with these guys. I mean, the NBA is got it's of all the North American sports, it is clearly the most divaistic, if that's a word, league. And guys liking each other is crucial and paramount to success, So they've excised a guy who was an albatross. And I wish the best for James Harden. I don't have any malice towards him, and he's going. It's going to be interesting. I know the Olympics are coming to LA in 2028. If there was a load management division for NBA basketball players between Kawhi, PG, and James Harden, man, that's the king of load management right there. So, but getting back to our Sixers, I think this is this chemistry. I think the roster's better. I think the roster's deeper, and I think also the roster is more suitable for the coaching style of Nick Nurse, and that's crucial for this team moving forward.
Yeah, it is. It is. So we'll see. We'll see. You got a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff going on. This was, an eventful day, and it's good. It's good for the Sixers. They're looking forward to, the press conferences that they have and everything. So,
and you got that. It was an exorcism, man.
Yeah,
it was an exorcism. Let's be quite honest. James Harden, the third team in 31 months he's tried to push his way out of. So he's ding dong. The wicked witch is dead. And it's good to see him moving on. Again, you don't wish him any ill will, but it was like, come on, man, don't drop another poison pill on his roster. And that's what he was becoming. He was becoming a poison pill.
Yeah. We'll see how this all plans out. But look, it's breaking news for y'all. It was a big day for the Sixers. So that's where we are. I want to thank y'all for listening. I want to thank my man John Mitchell for not smacking me for calling him Jane.
I've been called worse.
That's two of us, right? That's two of us. But look, y'all, I want y'all to have a blessed day. Now, what y'all need to do is, again, John is the new co-host on Locked On 76ers podcast. We've been busting it up for over a month now, off and on, but this is going to be a full-time thing. Like I said, John has a extensive knowledge in the NBA. He covered the Sixers before I have, so you guys are getting it straight. And not only that, if y'all think I tell it like it is and I get straight, John, I got it from him. But listen, what y'all want to do is now y'all can get this podcast. You can get it. Comes out 5 days a week. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts at. But you can also check out our YouTube channel, Locked On 76ers YouTube. When you go there, make sure you click on the Liberty Bell. That makes you a new subscriber. And it also allows you to get notifications whenever we have podcasts out. So do that, right? And then also like it, leave a comment, whatever you want. Heck, if y'all don't like what we say it.
Let us know.
Yeah, do what you got to do. But hey, we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for listening and have a blessed day.
Peace.